Conservation, and today I have the opportunity to interview a couple of the National Bee Diagnostic Center summer students. So we've got, do you want to just introduce yourselves and explain your studies at the Grand Prairie Regional College?
My name is Henry Valiquette. I've taken 2 years at the GPRC, starting my Bachelor of Science. Recently found out I got accepted to transfer in U of A, and I'm looking forward to that.
I'm Jamie. I just took my first year of Bachelor of Science at GPRC. I'll be transferring to U of A in September for a Bachelor of Science with focus on ecology.
Okay, excellent. So how did you hear of the NBDC? How did you get involved?
Well, I was looking for a summer position involved with biology because I understand it's hard to get your foot in the door when it comes to it because opportunities are very limited. So I went to one of my profs, and she referred me to another prof who actually has a role at the NBDC, Shauna Henley, and she gave me all the information, and I just went from there.
Okay.
Yeah, it was kind of similar. I was doing a genetics lab one day, and I was talking to one of my professors, Dr. Shauna Henley, and she mentioned that she was doing research at the Bee Center. And I don't know, a couple months later, she mentioned that there was some student positions, and I thought, perfect, I need a job.
Yeah.
It's good experience.
Okay,
yeah.
exactly. Okay, so this is the burning question here. How would you apply your experiences with NBDC to the future? Just how, and what skills have you discovered from your experience there?
Well, just working in the lab just about every day, it's really kind of honed some of my lab skills. Not that they're perfect or anything, but it's definitely been really helpful.
Yeah.
It's a lot better than just having 2 hours a week in a lab with your equipment. I mean, it's a lot easier to be comfortable now in a lab setting.
Yeah,
Oh,
sure.
exactly, no kidding. Right?
And then some of the equipment they have there probably won't get to see for a long time, depending on what we end up in. So
It's so incredibly expensive.
Yeah, no, that's so lab experience mainly, and then what about just being out there, like with the bees? How is that? Like, what's your take?
Well, yeah, I've had a bit of experience with that because I've had to go and collect samples and stuff like that from
Yeah.
the bee farmers, and I'm kind of organizing the project a little bit that we're doing. So that's been pretty good. Like, it's kind of helped with organization skills and just
Yeah.
meeting and talking to these interesting beekeepers that I would have never had the chance to, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's also interesting just to be in a lab sitting with all these people who've had careers in biology for a long time. They're experienced and they know what they're talking about. And just being in that environment is helpful for just bracing myself for the future,
No
I guess.
kidding, right? Exactly. Yeah. Okay, so if you were to tell future students or classmates of your experiences with the NBDC, what would you say? What would you you'd explain, or stories or something?
Well, I definitely highly recommend it because,
Yeah.
like Jamie was saying, it's not every day you get a chance to work with professionals like these, right?
Yeah.
That have this much experience and can kind of pass down some of that knowledge anyway. So it's a definite recommendation if you're looking to work in anything in science, basically.
And in biology, there are jobs like this that they're volunteer positions, and students will do that all summer. So to be doing this and to be paid well to be doing this, it's all pretty good. I mean,
Yeah.
can't say no to that.
Exactly.
And it's all for a good cause too. I mean, the bees, there's a ton of stuff out there talking about how they're declining. Well, we're on the problem, so.
Yeah. Actually, I wanted to talk about that. Like, what's your take on the declining status of the bee? Like, do you know anything, like, particulars about that?
Yeah, well, it's a really complex problem.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that can't be solved just by one lab, and we're focusing on the medical part of the bees, I guess. We're looking at viruses, we're looking at bacteria that are infecting them, parasites. But there's so much more out there. There's pesticides, and I believe they're gonna start looking at that in the lab as well when they're gonna look at the chemistry of it as well as the biology.
Okay. So there could be future opportunities.
Yeah, that's in the future though. But it's monocultures. I mean, we have miles and miles of the same crop, and they only bloom at one time. And the bees need flowers all the time.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Yeah. Just talking to beekeepers this summer so far, they've mentioned how there was a pretty big gap there in between blooms for their plants, so the bees were kind of almost starving for a little bit.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if we can develop a better way with our crop farmers to find a better system for crops, for the bees and all that, but I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, thank you for your time. It's really nice meeting you, and that is that.